Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're out here at the Oklahoma Auto Exchange. This is a dealer only auction. Last video we made, we were out here, it was a bust. We didn't get anything, but hopefully our luck will be different this time. We'll find us something. Let's see. Here we got an 08 Pontiac G6, my favorite, 170,000 miles. She looks pretty good. All the way around, she's looking pretty nice. This one don't even have hail damage or nothing. Look at this thing. Got some scuffs on the bumper, but that's not a big deal. The worst part of it, I guess, is this hood here. I just noticed that. That's a little cosmetic damage, nothing major. She fires up, sounds great. AC, already blowing cold. Somebody must have already been looking at it. Obviously, put it in gear like I always show you guys, man. That's really important to make sure they go into gear. Check that power steering. Check all the windows. All right, all the windows work. How about that radio? Radio's working. We do have an engine light, but it's probably for something simple because this thing is running like perfect. Yeah, this one's nice. I'll definitely keep my eye on this one. Got ourselves a little Impala SS. Let's see what year this is. 07, 176,000 miles. Got a little damage there. Nothing major. This is what we would call a weird beard car. That's all we're going to look at today is what we call weird beard cars. Those are about 150-ish thousand miles. You know, 12 years old or so, something like that. That still have life left in them. They just need to be turned around a little bit. Mostly cleaned up. Lots of elbow grease. As you can see, look, somebody spilled pop all over the seats. This one's not even bad. I mean, I would consider this clean, you know, for what I normally get. This one's not bad at all. See about firing it up. Nothing. She won't start. Dang it, I hate that. Makes it so hard to look at these things when they won't start, especially on auction day, man. I ain't got time to try to track down jump boxes and all that kind of mess. So now the problem I keep having with the auctions lately, and this has been ever since, you know, COVID came, there's just not a lot of weird beard cars. People just aren't trading their cars in. That's typically where my cars come from, dealer trade-ins. The dealers bring them out here to get rid of them, and that's where I come along. They're just not showing up. Not very many. I mean, you'll get one here or there, and then everybody fights over them and the price goes up too high, and that's kind of been the issue for a while now. I've managed to luck out a few times, but it's kind of few and far in between. Believe it or not, something like this flips very well in my area. This right here is considered very low miles, and I know a lot of you guys make fun of stuff like PT Cruisers and Chevy Aveos and all that stuff, but I'm telling you right now, from a flip car standpoint, in my price range, which is typically under $3 grand, these things flip very well in my area. I've never had a problem selling a PT Cruiser at all. And this one here is fairly clean. Just needs a normal cleaning, you know, a normal little detail job, nothing crazy. We wouldn't have to gut this one and start over like we do some of them. The body's in good shape. She's not all beat up. Got a little something there, nothing major. Oh, it's got that kind of is major. Just seen that, but you know what? It would still sell even with that. Now, I typically stay away from these Nissans because they have that CVT transmission, and they won't even arbitrate these things. Anything with a CV transmission, they will not arbitrate, meaning that when you buy it, you are stuck with it. So I don't typically mess with them. They're very, very common to have transmission issues, premature failure. I ain't got time for all that. Here's some leftovers from that hailstorm I got caught in a few videos back. Y'all remember that? Man, that was a crazy night. Good Lord. He's got beat up. Look at this. I was caught right in the middle of that. Luckily, we was at the Sonics. Down at the old Sonic drive-in, we managed to skip all the dents. We got lucky. This is another Aveo, 2010, 118,000 miles, and this one's pretty. I like this color. I thought my yellow looked good. Look at this. Nice. Let's see what it looks like inside. Well, I'll tell you what. We seem to be finding some cleaner cars. That's nice, that's always a plus. These cars I'm looking at today, none of them are super dirty like usual. This is kind of what I'm talking about. There's just a lot of new stuff out here, and then there will be a lot of crappy stuff out here. But the in-between stuff, that's where I make my living at, and there's just not a lot of the in-betweeners. All right, so I've looked over a few. I know what I've got in mind of what I want to bid on and how much I want to bid on them. Let's get inside, see what's going on. You guys can see this is kind of over here in the dark. 1992 F-150. Not too bad a shape. $1,700 on the F-150, not too bad. Those don't have very good resale value though. 98 Chevy 4-wheel drive, 181,000 miles.
You don't like this, that's right. Hey, I like this right, we're going to 31. That's it. 384. Here's number 3310.
All right, we're at 4,000 on a call. All right, that's a wrap on the auction, and we got something this time. Dude, it happened so fast, I didn't even have time to get my camera out. So cross your fingers, let's go see. It's another one of those where I just bid on it willy-nilly coming through the line. I do not recommend doing that to anybody, especially if you're just first getting started out. Go check them out first, but I do it sometimes, and I tend to do okay. Every once in a while it turns out to be a bad decision, but for the most part it works out. So cross your finger, let's see if that's this is one of those times. We're about to find out. All right, here it is, you guys, check it out. 06 Chevy Cobalt, 137 on the miles. A little older on the year than I care for, but the miles are just right. Now cosmetically this thing looks great. The color's beautiful. That's a pretty color on this thing. A little clear coat fade on the roof. Yep, got that going on, but the rest of it looks fine. It looks like it's isolated to the roof only. It's not even on the roof rails. It's just the actual roof panel. So I mean, if you did want to paint it, it'd be super easy to just come in and tape along here and just paint that one panel by itself. Look at the tires on this thing, man. They look like brand spanking new, and they match all the way around. That is a huge selling point on these old used cars, because tires are expensive, and I don't want to buy them unless I absolutely have to. And this just does not need tires at all. Look at that, matching all the way around. Good deal, love that. Got a broken mirror. I have to make a trip to the old salvage yard on that one. Let's see what we got going on inside of here. Unfortunately, we don't have the darker color interior that we like, which is a lot easier to clean. So this one will be, definitely needs some scrubbing. I mean, you can see, ugh, that's disgusting, right? That's just the nature of the business, man. That's the way this stuff goes. Used car business, you will find stained up interior, that's for sure. But it won't be that way after it gets the weird beer treatment. It's fired up, man. She fired right up, no problem. Got power steering, nice. How about that sunroof? Let's check that out. Oh no, the switch is broken. It might still work though. Let's see. Kind of afraid to open it now, to be honest. Well, there we go. It is working. There, you just gotta hold on to the switch while you pull it, because it's lost the bezel that holds it into the hole. So, oh nice, now we got a sunroof that's stuck open. Oh, you gotta love this. There we go. Okay. All right. We're in business. All right. Good thing, man. My luck, it'd rain on the way home. How about we test out the AC? It's already blowing cold. Obviously, they just drove it around here, so you know they had that running wide open. All right. So obviously we'll know more when we get it out on the road, but so far so good. I thought maybe it'd be a smart move to check the oil on it before we take off out of here. And she looks good, no milkshake, awesome. I'm gonna check the coolant too. I can see some pink coolant in there. Yeah, we're good there, so let's get rolling. Let's not forget this guy. Alrighty. Okay, hopefully you guys can see it, but there it is. $22.20 is the out the door price on this one. We won it for $2,000, and then $220 is the buyer's fee. As with any auction, you're gonna have to give them a sheet proving that you paid for the car. It's all paid in full and all of that, and they're gonna want to look in the car, the trunk and everything, to make sure you're not pulling a fast one. How are you?
I am great. How are you
Awesome. All right, just like that, we are out of here. And I'm not even sure if I should even drive it with this mirror. Might have to get out and check that. Let's get her on the highway, see how she does. She seems to be shifting fine so far. So we got her on the highway, and transmission's bad, y'all. I mean, I guess it's bad. It shifts fine, but it's just not giving me my last gear. No overdrive. Check it out. We're running 55, 60 miles an hour and almost 3 grand on the RPMs. We know that ain't right. You can see there, we're in drive. We're doing 60 and we're running 3 grand. I don't know, man. Maybe we'll get lucky and it's a shift solenoid or something, but that definitely ain't right. It shifts so good other than that, I don't understand. So maybe just a shift solenoid. I don't know. We'll have to look at it and see. Now, obviously, there's no way of knowing that ahead of time. When you're dealing with an auction, you don't get a test drive. You might get to spin them around the parking lot, but that ain't going to reveal this issue. Not at all. I mean, we didn't find this out till we hit the highway. And I'll tell you what, this AC is working nice. Well, this will make a great, like, in-town car. It does the little 35 mile an hour speed limits just fine. Obviously, we can't sell it like this. We're gonna have to figure something out. If we did sell it like this, we'd have to take a loss, I think, being $2,200 into this deal. I knew I should have bought that G6. So I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe it'll be just a solenoid. I really don't know. I've never dug into one of these Cobalt transmissions. I have no idea. Should be a learning experience. I don't know if we can afford to replace the transmission, being that we're already over 2,200 in. Kind of a good way to kill a flip. In those situations, you may just have to cut your losses and move on. So I went to the O'Reilly's and got us some shift solenoids for this Cobalt. I'm hoping that's going to fix our shifting situation. I don't know. I've never done this before on a Cobalt. So this is a little more difficult, the way I understand it, than like a Honda where the shift solenoids are on the outside of the transmission. These are located on the inside of the transmission, and to get to it, we got to get all this stuff out of the way. So let's just get started on it. We'll start by getting all these covers off of here. Lots of them. We can go ahead and put this guy back on there though. From all of my research, it says that this has got to come completely out, so everything's got to get unplugged. Obviously, before we want to do any of that, we want to unhook the battery, so we're going to run back there. These are located in the trunk. Get this old trunk pad out of the way. This car was pretty clean. I didn't have to clean anything out yet. It just needs a vacuum, and there wasn't a bunch of junk in the trunk or any of that. Look at, got the spare tire, the jack, the whole 9 yards in here. Normally when I pick up these used cars, man, the trunk's a disaster. you're missing the spare tire, the jack, something, always something missing, if not all of it. Now that we got the battery unplugged, I think we can start unplugging all this stuff and getting it out of here. These come out of here pretty easy. You just got a little button that you're going to push there, and then that slides back. This plug should kind of come off of here at that point. You might have to work with it a little bit, but it'll come off of there. There we go. I don't think you have to worry about any of these plugs going into the wrong spot. They can only fit one place, so we ain't got to mark anything so far. I highly recommend. Wow, that thing was tight. I highly recommend marking things. There's no shame in it. I'm lucky enough that I can go back and look at my camera if I have any doubts, but even then I will still mark things like this right here. There's no shame in it, man. I'm marking it even though it's kind of obvious where it goes. I'm still gonna mark it. I don't care. Don't judge me. Just tape these two together. Keep them together. They've been best friends all this time. No point in separating them. I told you I was gonna label it. I wasn't playing. We're gonna label that A, and we'll put us a little A. We'll just write it on here. A, and look at that. It's so obvious that goes there. I still don't care. I'll mark it anyway. Just took a second. So now after messing around in here for a few minutes, I finally managed to get this thing wrestled up out of here. This tab here that bolts to the frame rail sticks down in there so far that you'll just have to kind of get in there and maneuver it around. There'll be all kinds of wire looms attached to it. Good trim tool. This comes in really handy, gets kind of down in there. Obviously a screwdriver, needle nose pliers, whatever will work too. But once this is out of the way, we could take our fuse block and just kind of bungee cord it up out of the way, and we should have enough room to work under it now. Thought maybe we'd get this thing up here and maybe tie it to the bottom of the hood, something like that. I don't know, hopefully it won't try to yank the hood down on top of me. An old piece of wire I found laying around the shop. Ought to get the job done. Use bungee cord, whatever you got. So that'll get it. You can see, you know, we don't have everything real tight. There's still a little bit of slack on all the wires. Check it out. We just opened up all this room here. That is a transmission mount, and that has to be removed. All the shifter linkage has to be removed. There is a big section of the top of this transmission that has to come out. So we've got a little more clearing to do just to get to it. All right, so now that we made a little room up top, we got to do the same thing underneath. See if we can break this loose. There we go. I'm going to attempt to get this sway bar end link off of this strut so that I can take the strut loose and move it over out of the way. See if this comes off of here. I might need two hands. Sweet. I'm gonna get the brake caliper out of the way. Now, you don't have to remove the pads or anything like that. You can leave those installed. I like to put all my bolts back in the holes where they go. It's just that much less stuff to keep track of. Yeah, got me a little bungee cord here. I'm gonna bungee cord this off over maybe to this or something. I don't know. Just some way so it's not dangling on the brake line, of course. Got the caliper bungee corded up. Let's get the strut loose. You can see here I've already unplugged my sensor. Kind of move this off over out of the way. I don't know, maybe up here, something like that. We're doing this so we could pull the CV axle out, in case I failed to mention that. That's got to come out before we can even get that side cover off, because right under the side cover is where all of the sensors are, the shift sensors that we're trying to replace. So we got to dig into this one, I told you. We're gonna undo this spindle off of here now. Uh-oh, hang on, this is gonna take 2 hands. There we go. There we go. Having this thing kind of out of the way helped that, 'cause I couldn't get my little screwdriver in there. Kind of helped spread it just enough to get it to let loose. That is a WD-40. That came apart just fine. I'm gonna try to pry this CV joint out of here, and at the same time maybe catch some of that fluid and see if it is nasty or what kind of shape it's in or what have you. Let's see. I'm kind of prying on this. Whoa, there we go. There we go. Let's try to get this out of here. Maybe. Hang on, let's pry on it some more. There we go. Oh, okay. Oh, well, nothing came out. I was expecting some fluid to come out of there, but alright, well, we'll just drain some out. Let's see. So we're still digging. We've got to get the shifter linkage out of the way, and then I got to pull this transmission mount, which means I'm going to have to put a jack underneath it to hold everything up while we remove the mount. We've got a plug back here that goes onto the shifter. I'm not sure if I got to take that off or not. We'll find out in just a minute, though. Alright, so I got the shifter coming off here. I'm going to just kind of get this up out of the way. Just kind of put it over here, I guess. That'll be alright, just like that. There's one more thing out of our way. I got to get this guy here off next. Let's see. I'm not even sure how that works. Alright. Not 100% sure how that comes off of there. There's something on the back side holding it. It feels like I can't see it. I can feel it. Alright, let's see if we can get that loose. Let's see if that gets it off of there. There we go. Yeah, it always helps when you pull all the bolts out. I don't think I gotta unplug that. I think I could just kind of drape it off to the side and it'll be alright. I think at this point I'm gonna go ahead and throw a block under the transmission and get that transmission mount broke loose and out of the way, and at that point I think we'll have everything off to where we could finally pull the side cover out. Now that the transmission is supported, I think I can go ahead and pull this mount off. There we go. I guess that goes in. I guess if I pull these 13mm bolts out off the side of this frame rail, that should all come right off of it. Alright, near as I can tell, the best way to get that out of there is to kind of twist it and bring it out like that. Alright, there we go. That wasn't too bad. I wasn't actually going to pull the strut out because it's not really necessary, but I think for video purposes it'd be kind of nice to have it out of the way. We'll get this brake caliper kind of pushed over here out of the way maybe, and that way we can see in there a little better, a little easier, and I think actually it will help with getting this pan out of the way anyway, so it's kind of nice having that removed. Alright, at this point I've got everything out of the way where I could finally pull that side cover piece off. There was a lot to pull off. That brake caliper worked out perfect, just hanging it up there, and then we got all that room for activities. Look at that. Everything's out of the way, everything's all opened up, even up top here. You remember we just kind of pulled a few things out of the way. Here's the shifter cable out of the way, fuse box out of the way, and I've got every single bolt back in its respective holes, and I don't believe I'm going to be able to keep those in there. I think I'm going to actually have to take those out because you need every little bit of room to make this happen. And even still, it's to my understanding, if we don't drop the transmission, the engine, everything down a bit, we're not actually going to be able to remove that side cover completely. We can just move it kind of over out of the way. And somebody did make a video. They show that it is possible to get in there and pull those out and put the new shift solenoids in and all that, but it looked like a nightmare. So I don't know. I'm gonna try it that way. If it don't work, we're dropping. We're gonna pull that side panel off. I'm not gonna sit and fight with it. I'm gonna tell you that much right now. So for now, I got a oil pan underneath it we're going to start cracking this thing open, and we're going to actually get to see the transmission fluid start to come out of it, and we'll get to see what color it is. I'm going to trap some in a container, and we're going to go out and look at it. These are the bolts we're pulling out right here. You can see where it's split here. This is what we're pulling off for anybody that doesn't know. These bolts are going to come out. They're all the way around it, all the way up in there. I've got all the bolts out so far except the ones along the bottom here. They run all the way across. Looks like about 4 of them, I think. At that point, I would think some fluid might start running out. I don't know. I do know the side cover has dowels on it, so we may have to get in and kind of pry it loose. But that's where we're at with it. Just 4 more bolts, and she's about to come out. There we go. There's our first drip coming out. I don't know. It doesn't look bad so far. We'll find out more here in just a minute. Now we're getting somewhere. That fluid looks nice, though. Now I've got me a little container here. I'm going to catch some of this. Let's put it right here. I'm going to give this a little pry. Just kind of help it out a little bit. We don't want to get too crazy. It's all aluminum, so be careful with it. There we go. Oh hell, that fluid looks great. Now that don't necessarily mean anything. I mean, they could have been changing the fluid trying to rectify this situation on their own before they traded it in or whatever. Well hell, y'all, I left the dang bolt in and no wonder it won't come off. There we go. I think we'll have a little better luck next time. Alright, let's try prying on it again now that all the bolts are out of it. I'm just glad I discovered that bolt being in there before I grabbed the hammer, because I was getting close to just going at it. There we go. Yeah, that's actually working now. Awesome. Imagine that. Yeah, look how easy it comes apart now when you have all the bolts out of it. That's the dowels I was talking about that's in there. It's got those dowels to line it up on. It's common for it to kind of get hung up on those, but it doesn't seem to be on this one. It looks like it's just coming right apart. See what I'm talking about now. You see how that's all coming apart. We'll have to get it apart over there. There's another dowel on that side. Maybe it's hanging up. There it is. You can see the dowel there. That's what we were hanging up on. It's common. That's about the most you'll have to fight with it, is getting those to come out. But it wasn't too bad on this one. I think at this point all that's left is this bottom corner. Oh no, hell, it's already loose. You can see here we got ourselves a little bit of room, but man, it is just not much at all. There's the solenoid right there. There's one here and then there's one down underneath it. And man, dude, I don't see it happening, y'all. I just don't. Yeah, I don't think GM was very good to us on this one, guys. Man, what a pain. They just gave us just a little more room, but that's how it always is. They never quite give you enough, do they? So here's the fluid out of it. I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. It looks normal, perfectly normal. It's got a nice reddish tint to it. It doesn't look like anything that anybody has changed, you know, recently trying to chase down this issue or anything. I mean, see, you can see the fluid's red, but it's not overly red. It does have a little bit of you know, darkness to it. Not bad though, not bad at all. So I'm committing to going ahead and dropping the subframe down just a little bit, make this engine and transmission come down just a hair. It's not that hard. It's really not. It sounds difficult, but the main thing is to unhook the steering linkage. You want to mark it and unhook it so that when you drop this subframe down, you don't affect your steering linkage and all of that. It just stays where it's at. It's very important that you keep the steering wheel right where it's at. Don't spin it, let it spin around in a circle. You mess up your clock spring and you'll have an airbag light and all that kind of crap. So that's really all you need to know. The rest of it, make sure you support everything with jacks and jack stands properly, and only unhook one side. Don't take all 4 subframe bolts out. Just take 2 out of the side that you need to drop down. That way everything is still attached. Everything is still lined up where it needs to go. and we only need about this much. That's it. So this ought to be easy enough. So right here is the bolt that you have to pull out to get that steering linkage loose. It's just one bolt, 13 millimeter. That's it. That's what holds that shaft to the racket pinion. I've got my steering wheel locked into place. I do it straight across, so it's easy to kind of keep an eye on it, you know, make sure it stays straight. As long as it's locked into place, you're fine. And every time I tap on this, the camera goes flying off on the floor. But here we go. Yeah. All right, so that's loose, as you can see. Obviously, when we drop the subframe, the racket pinion is going to come with it, so this shaft will drop down, but now it's free to do so. So I think at this point, I'm just going to take my floor jack, stick it right here under the engine cradle. All right, and then all you got to do at this point is get in here and pull these subframe bolts out. There's one hiding up inside of there, underneath that dust shield. We'll have to get it out of the way. And then there'll be another one back here. You can see it up in there. We'll pull that one down, and that will let this side drop, I believe, just enough to get that cover out of there. Now that we got the splash shield out of the way and we've got it jacked up, let's undo this subframe mount. And I'm going to actually leave it somewhat screwed in for now. About like that, and then we'll go back here and do this back one. I'm going to drop the jack down just a hair, see if that gives us any room. We may have to loosen the other side as well. I'm not sure yet. Let's see what this gives us. Oh, it's not bad. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. I could use a little more. Let's see where that does. See what I'm talking about there? That's how much we lowered it so far. Not much. I think if we want to go a little bit lower, obviously we got to pull the bolt out some more. But man, look at what that gave us already. I mean, look at that. I can actually get my fingers in between there, so every little bit counts. I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this off some more and see if we can't drop it down even further. Okay, we're gonna go extremely slow with this. We're supported on the jack, so we're okay. Yeah, see, that's all we gotta do. I may go ahead and just pull those all the way out. I think I will. Let's just drop it out of there, have it out of the way, why not? I'm gonna drop the jack down just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Now you're talking. Now, in case anybody was wondering, that is why we undo the steering linkage. We don't want to be trying to pull that linkage down with us, and we don't want to damage anything there, believe me. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to give us what we need or not, but there's only one way to find out. Appears like we're still hanging up a little bit. Let's see. Well, I tell you, look at that. Let's see what that looks like up top. That may be all we need. See, there we go. That's what we're looking for right there. Look at that. We have fully exposed our shift solenoids. There's one there, and there's one right underneath it. There's the plugs, and then there's a little forked type clip that you got to pull out right inside of here, I believe. Somewhere, maybe it's over here, but yeah, I think I feel it right there. You pull that out, and then this slips right out. I'll show you here in just a second. See about getting the plug off of this one for now. We'll start with that. Look at that. It just broke. It just broke. There you have it. Check it out. I do believe that's our problem. This is a common issue on these, from what I understand from the videos I watched, is that the top solenoid isn't covered with transmission fluid as much as the bottom one, so they tend to go out. They get hot. And there you go. Just trying to pull the clip off, you can see that's melted. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, that's only part of the solenoid. I mean, that's just the plug. It's all melted and broken. Surely this has got to be our issue, right? All right, so I just got me a regular little pick here with a bend. I guess a 90-degree pick would work well. Maybe even just a regular pick or screwdriver or whatever. Just something to get in there to get in on that clip. I believe that clip to be right there. It is. Yeah, I'm on it. Okay. Ah, I lost everything. The clip, the solenoid, the whole 9 yards. That's awesome. Way to go. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Here's the solenoid. It fell and hit the ground. There we go, there's that. We gotta find the clip, which is probably in the pan, but since we got everything opened up, we shouldn't have any problem getting it out of there. I'll get a magnet if I have to. Here's the other part of the solenoid here, look at that. I'll show you how this goes together. So for those of you that don't know, I mean, this kind of goes on there like so. Something like that. It's supposed to all be one piece, and it clearly is not, and that is so melted inside of there. Look how melted that is all the way around. So there's no way that this was working properly at all. It wasn't working at all, no way. Let's see about getting the second one off of here. Start with the plug first. There we go. We managed to get both plugs off without breaking the clips off. That's always a plus. We'll keep the top one up here, keep the bottom one off over there. Now, let's see about getting this second solenoid out. There's probably nothing even wrong with the second one. We're just going to replace it while we're in here. Typically, it's the top one that goes out, from what I understand. Let's see if I can find that. There it is. See if we can keep this one from falling, hitting the ground. Be nice. And that's a no. Lost both of those too. Oh, golly, I got my fingers on it. I can fit. There we go. All right, there it is. That's the second one, and like I said, there's probably nothing even wrong with it, but we'll replace it since we're already in there. They're only like 25 bucks a piece. I'm trying to see if I can pry down on this thing far enough to get this cover out of here, because I believe we're right there where we'll actually come out. I think we're close. I mean, we're extremely close to getting that to pop out of there. You can see, I mean, just a tad bit more, and we would have it. There we go. I think, maybe. Hell, I don't know. Oh, dang, look out. We are very, very close to getting this guy out of here, I think. There. Oh my God, I didn't think that was ever gonna happen. Man, I ain't gonna lie, that was a fight, but it's out. And now you can see the inside of the transmission. This is where the shift solenoids go in, right here. The bottom plug, there's the top plug. Here's the little clips that hold it in. They just slide right into these little grooves here. All right, one's missing. We still got to find it. I didn't see it in the pan nowhere. That's kind of weird. All right, good news. That other clip did fall out of the pan and landed on the floor, so we do have both clips now. I'm gonna take both of these and just set them right there. They ought to be safe there for now. Let's go ahead and see about getting our brand new solenoids in there. Look at that. Nice. All right, I thought maybe doing it from underneath here would give you guys a little better vantage point, see what I'm doing. You see there, that just pushes in. Now you'll have to hold it because otherwise it wants to pop right back out. Got my clip. This is what holds it in, just like that. All right, now that's what we were gonna try to do with the cover in the way. It's possible, it's been proven, I've seen it, my own 2 eyes on YouTube, but I just didn't feel, like that was gonna be easy for me. My fingers don't really move like that anymore. So anyway, I had to get that cover out of the way. So I know what you're thinking. All right, let's pop it back together, fill it full of fluid, see if it works. Unfortunately, not this time. I think when I was popping that cover off, getting all rambunctious and forceful, look at this, that broke off. I don't know if it was already like that, but it is now, that's for sure. It went right here, just like this. There's another solenoid right there. I'll show you. It seems like this should just come right out of there. There, yeah, there it goes. It just hung up. Not a big deal. That's what we got to get next, I guess. Look at that. Can you look? It just snapped right off. Here's the plug here. Snapped right off. I can't believe it. Who knows? Probably another 25, 30 bucks. Live and learn. I don't even know what this thing does, y'all. I just know we got to have it. I went ahead and stuck the plug back on it, even though technically it is broken off. But we'll get up to O'Reilly's and get us another one. Well, dang. That kind of did us in on this one. That part's about 2 days out. About 75 bucks. As much as I would like to postpone the video until we could wrap everything all up into a nice neat little package, it's not how it's going to be all the time. You guys want videos closer together, sometimes this is how it's going to be. I'm going to have to kind of leave you hanging on them, and I have to apologize on this one. It was actually my own damn fault, so live and learn. I should have been a little more careful with it. It's how it goes sometimes. But hey, at least we got in there. Got it all straightened out, you know, brand new solenoids. It looks nice and clean inside. I believe this car was well maintained, so I'm pretty certain this transmission's still good, but we're gonna find out. But hey, don't forget to hit me up on Instagram, WeirdBeard on Instagram. Link in the description as always. Facebook as well, WeirdBeard on Facebook. Send me your friend request. I'll be sure to accept your friend request. And for now, we're gonna get on out of here, and join me on the next one. We'll see if we can get this straightened out. And to see if we can get it sold and actually make some money on it. We kind of went deep on this one. I don't know.